Welcome to segment 6, and tonight we're going to talk about being safe when you're out of your house. Kind of triggered by some of these theater shootings that have gone on, like in your hometown in Lafayette, Louisiana. When we go places, we're always like really cautious about that, not sitting with our back to the door and stuff. So I thought it might be interesting to just share some thoughts about that. You make holsters for women, essentially.
Yeah, I design shapewear with pockets accessible for cross draw for subcompact carry. And I have a line just for women right now, but I'm hoping to expand with a few more items, including clothing items for women. I'm working with a designer right now on a few pieces.
Cool.
So yeah, to expand the line.
Would we say, I think it's safe to say, pretty much carry everywhere we go?
I try to carry as much as I can. Yeah.
That's safe.
I have 3 jobs, and 2 of them I'm not allowed to carry at my job.
Government employee.
Right. One of them is financial industry, which I think it's not universal within the financial industry, but it's fairly prevalent that they don't allow guns. And then the other one is in a government building. And so, but I was made very uncomfortable a couple of months ago. I was driving home from my government job, and I didn't have my gun with me. And there was a man in the lane next to me who was like giving me the stink eye, and not just like, and then look away, but like he was like staring at me stink eye, like for several minutes, and it was making me very uncomfortable. And I didn't have my gun in the glove compartment, and I was really regretting that. And so I started carrying in the car more, even when I go to work where I can't carry. So yeah, I've been carrying more and more actually.
Do you carry I believe you carry at church as well?
I do carry at church.
Because some of them don't allow it, but some of them do. So
Yeah.
yours definitely.
Our church has no policy on it, so and as far as I know, I'm the only one who does. So I'm the protector of my entire congregation.
The shepherd of the flock. I think
I'm the sniper of the flock.
I think the places that you would think I can't carry are the very places you probably should carry.
Yeah,
Right.
that's true.
Yeah.
Well, that's one place that I'm very uncomfortable is when I go to the shopping mall. All the shopping malls by us are marked no guns. And so, and there've been too many mall shootings to count. I mean, I don't even know how many mall shootings there've been. And then if you add in, the William Bryant killings and all of that, it's just been, there's so many. And so, and then there was a grocery store shooting in Indiana. So I don't go grocery shopping without a gun. And I don't go to the mall without a gun.
I've noticed that a lot of the grocery stores have immediately put up the no concealed carry signs as soon as the law was passed, have started taking those down.
I heard that.
I don't see nearly as many as what we used to.
Yeah.
And Jewel, I talked to the general counsel of Jewel when they first put the sign up.
It was kind of confusing.
Well, and you're right, because when I saw it, here's how it happened. I went into Jewel, where I've been going for years, and there's a sign, and I'm like, son of a gun. So I wrote a letter to Jewel, and I was polite, but I said, look, I'm ex-military, I had 20 years of law enforcement, I've been shopping here all these years, and now what? Suddenly I can't bring a gun in when it's legal in the state of Illinois. The general counsel of Jewel called me back, and he said, you didn't look at the sign closely enough. He said, these are his words, we have no objection to law-abiding citizens carrying concealed firearm in any Jewel store, anywhere where it's legal.
Right.
He said, if you look at the fine print, which there is, it says about employees and vendors. Now, here's what he said. He said, look, we're not anti-gun, but if we say our employees can carry a firearm while working for us in the store and something goes wrong, we're on the hook.
Yeah.
So that means we have to make sure they've been trained. We have to make sure the gun is safe. We got all these things that we have to worry about if we're going to let them do it. He goes, we're in the business to sell groceries. We're not in the business to do that. And he said, so it just applies to that. So I called the state police and ran that by him. And the person I talked to down at state police goes, there's a caveat. But Ed Gronkowski has said, our attorney, he goes, sign's a sign. Doesn't matter what the words are. So what does that always say? There's no case law.
Hasn't been tested.
Yeah.
Well, and the interesting thing about that too is actually, I would say that sign is not enforceable because it's not.
It's not the sign. Right.
It's not the sign. So, so yeah, I would say it's not, you know, I mean, it's their company policy, but it's not really
Right.
enforceable.
But just
A lot of them aren't even in spots where you can see them. Like I went to the
Yeah.
Lincolnwood Mall there, and it was in the 48, and like way
Yeah.
up in the second story.
The windows above
window.
the door.
Yeah, but like way up high, and I was like, I just so happened to be looking up, and I'm like, oh, they've got no concern.
That's
It
weird,
wasn't
yeah.
anywhere on the door.
Well, and we've had people say, like I went into a bar, not me, but someone told me I went into a bar and it wasn't marked outside. They had a sign behind the bar, like on the mirror.
well, that's interesting.
And that's not correct either because the law says it has to be conspicuously displayed at the entrance.
Right.
So that is, you know, I would
Was
say
it
yours.
automatic
I
though?
would say yours is not conspicuous, and then that other one is
Right,
not displayed at the
right.
entrance. So neither one of those is doing
51%.
it correct.
If it's 51% sales alcohol.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
more
Then
than
it's
50%
automatic.
in the prior 3 months.
But are they still required to post it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the issue that Pub West
Yeah,
had
that's what I was thinking
in
He's
Waterbury.
very pro-gun, obviously.
He's
Yeah.
totally pro-gun. The guy who owns Pub West is very pro-gun, loves the club.
You can't afford to be.
But it was like $10,000 a day fine, I think, isn't
It
it?
says up to 5,000.
It's $5,000 a day fine for every day you don't put that sign on your door. And finally, after it took him a while, finally just goes,
And it's only on the main entrance.
Yeah.
not the
Yeah.
Back end.
yeah,
But, and there's no law, again, so we've said this, you should put a sign next to that sign and say, I don't really want to post this, but the
Right.
state of Illinois is forcing
Yeah.
me
Because
to.
I've been there with several
And,
people.
and
they question
I'm not against the Second Amendment. I'm pro Second Amendment and, you know, you're welcome here. And, you know, not to say anything about your guns are welcome here, but, you know, just to
Right.
say,
Yeah.
I am pro Second Amendment, but the state is forcing me to put this up.
I've had people say that when I went there, they say, hey, why does he have that sign up? I'm like, well, it's alcohol.
he has no choice.
You're like, oh,
And now he has
And the
gambling
video
too.
gambling.
Now he has
Yeah,
gambling,
got
too.
video
oh, that's true, he
gambling,
does,
so,
yes.
That's an automatic.
yeah.
The interesting thing about malls is like our mall, Louis Joliet or whatever they're calling it this day.
Yeah, no, it's still-
If you go to the anchor stores, there's no
They're not
sign.
marked, yeah.
so if you
I
walk
mean, the
in,
ones that are around.
Yeah,
the
four
Yeah,
corners.
no,
perimeter.
the department stores, the department.
Oh,
stores.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
if you go in their entrance, not the mall entrance, there's no sign.
Like a Sears or a Macy's
Right.
or something.
And you can go all the way through the store. When you get to the mall, there's no sign on the door there either.
Oh.
So it's an interesting situation. You can, if you get busted, you can go, I came in through Penny's, or I came in, I never saw a sign.
Well, and that's usually what I do, and for the longest time, I didn't even know it was marked, because usually I go in Carson's, I shop in Carson's when I leave. And
Right.
so I never saw,
And there's no sign
I
on
never
those
saw
doors.
a sign.
Yeah.
The funny thing too is that if you go in by, there's a Fridays attached to that mall. And Fridays has a non-uniform sign. So they have an unenforceable sign on the Fridays entrance. And then the mall entrance that's directly adjacent has two different signs. They have the real one and then they have a clear version of the real one, which probably is enforceable. But yeah, just in that little area, there's three different guns.
You know, talking about restaurants, one of the things I always try to do is get as far away from the door as you can get,
Or
and
defense.
never turn my back to the door.
And he has to be sitting.
Yeah,
facing
never turn my
the
back to
door.
the
Yeah.
door.
He's got to have a
Yeah.
sign on the exit.
And then you just sort of keep an eagle eye. I mean,
Yeah.
you
I
really,
remember one time we were at a place that had a back door and front door.
yeah,
And he's like, okay, I want to sit here, so I'm facing the door. And I'm like, there's a door behind you. And he goes, okay, well then you have to watch that door.
this is like Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
It really was.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
really was. Like, we're going to be shooting over each other's shoulder.
yeah. But it's a, here's the thing, concealed carry. Historically, concealed carry has been, you don't want some jerk, you're in a liquor store buying something and some clown comes in with a shotgun. I mean, that's been the concern of concealed carry all along.
Right.
And one-on-one, somebody threatens you or whatever. Now, They shoot cops in the back of the head
Yeah.
in gas stations. You got ISIS roaming around with AK-47s. I don't carry a concealed carry gun anymore. I carry a full-size gun
Right.
all the time.
I wish I could. I just can't.
Well-
It's bigger than you are.
Yeah, exactly.
On a different topic, like for you and I had been posting for the past, however many days since the incident happened, but my friend Mary.
In Lafayette.
No.
Sorry, my friend here.
Melissa.
My-
Oh,
Yeah,
right,
sister.
right.
Right.
We talked about that last week.
Yeah, and it's just, that's something that I personally am gonna start doing more often is carrying at home. I mean, I've always had a plan, if this happens or
Sure.
someone comes
Yeah.
by this window or this door, and you run through it with your kids. It's the same thing as having a fire safety plan, You know where things are in your home, you know how to get to them,
Sure.
you know how to utilize them, how to access them, but I'm considering carrying more, in the house. So, and that's really scared the hell out of me, seeing that happen.
It's tough times. And, not to make it political, but it really is. This president has gone on his way to divide this country. And now you've got, you got people killing cops, people killing white people. I mean, you can lay that right at Obama's feet. I mean, he's basically the guy who generated this stuff. And so now you don't know who.
Right.
You just don't know where to turn. You don't know what's going to be around the next corner.
And then we have the mentally ill, like you were saying in Lafayette. This guy definitely had some mental issues there. And down in Lafayette, Louisiana, with the theater shooting, that also, really freaked me out because my mother was at that exact theater the movie before with my little cousin and another child, a friend's child that she was babysitting, and watching Ant-Man in the theater next door to, they were literally just a wall
Yeah.
separating them from where they were showing Trainwreck that day. So, that's a really close call. There was a lot of people
You
there. And, I just saw someone shared with me today, UL Lafayette, the university there. I'm alumni. And they did a great salute, and then they came out with the opposing team, and both bands came out and did Amazing Grace with the marching band. Yeah, and did a little prayer for them. So that was really sweet. But,
Said a prayer.
yes, we're talking about Lafayette, Louisiana.
That's radical stuff.
Yes,
That's
yes, it
radical
is.
stuff.
It does though, when you're talking about carrying in the house, it does make me reconsider some of my habits because a lot of times I come home from shopping or whatever I'm doing and I'm carrying when I first get home. But, it's not the most comfortable thing in the world.
No.
And so then I go and I take it off. I either put it back in my bedroom or, I leave it laying all over the house, different places. So at any given moment, if I
You also
get,
don't have kids.
if,
in the
no,
house.
I don't. If I get that adrenaline dump, I'm gonna be, where is it?
Yeah.
Because I don't always put it in the same place. So that, that gives me pause to think about some of my bad habits with that.
Since I put in the gun room,
Ooh,
I have
Spend most of
guns
your
I have
time
guns in a
interesting.
number of places in my house. And,
we do too.
but you know what happens? Like when I go home tonight, I won't take the gun off until basically I get ready to go to bed. And then it's right on the bedstand with me. And we're high visibility because of the radio show and everything. I mean, a lot of people know who we are. And there are a lot of people. And I didn't really know this. And you may have been the person who told me this. There are liberals who listen to our show.
Mhm.
And I never could.
Well, especially when I was running, like our we used to use Ustream for the video
Right.
feed, and our Ustream count went up when I became the candidate for that election.
Yeah.
So we assumed it was liberals trying to get a soundbite that they could use.
That probably was.
And ironically, that never happened, so.
But we had, for instance, the video that you took of at Eric Wallace's thing
Yes.
showed up in a liberal thing. It's our video. It's
Oh,
got our
yeah,
logo
they stole
on it.
our video of Mike Huckabee.
So somebody was watching our.
They took that clip and they made it their own, and our watermark was still on it.
Exactly. Yeah. So we've got all kinds of people watching our.
Well, and that, when I got that death threat, it did make me think it wouldn't be, and Joe Walsh gets death threats with some regularity. It wouldn't be that hard it would actually be very easy for somebody to target someone who has a live radio show. I
Absolutely.
mean, you know,
You know, the address of the
where this
station.
place is not
Right.
a secret, you know, approximately when you would arrive, approximately when you would leave. That's
You don't lie.
That's all very easy to figure out.
Everyone thinks we're in Chicago, by the way.
Well, let's just keep
That
them
is a
thinking that.
common misconception.
Because we are.
Yeah.
We're actually in Portland, Oregon.
I just
But-
think it's important, like, especially for women, you know, of our size too,
Yeah.
is that, you know, not just carrying, but you just gotta be aware of your surroundings
Oh, you bet.
all the
Absolutely.
time. You know, and I think that, you know, there are some people out there that think, I got a gun on me, I'll be fine, you know? And
No.
then they don't take the precautions that they should take, you know?
But we go in and out of the show heavily armed.
That is true.
It's,
Watch out, people.
it had better be a big group if we're gonna do it, because, we have a lot of firepower. What can I say?
We all walk out together.
Better safe than sorry.
There was a couple of things I heard not too long ago, regarding like safety outside your home and stuff. Like when you go to the gas station, for example, and then being aware of your surroundings, you know, if you look at how cars are positioned, you know, be aware if there's a car that's being backed into a spot, it takes some care and time to do that. They may be wanting to get out in a hurry, you know, so just kind of be aware of that. One other one I heard recently from a former member of law enforcement was that now when he fills up his car, and he basically learned this while working at the job, was that he believed his door open and positioned the vehicle so that the door is open towards the building. So if someone's coming out, you know, shooting, he's got some layer of protection to guard him where he's standing at the pump in his car. But I don't know, my other thought on that is, again, like he's leaving his door open, if he's not close in proximity to it, someone could try to jump in it maybe, but, you know, it depends on how
That's
you
the
do it.
least of your worries.
That's kind of my thought too. I think it is a valid idea. I think it's not bad necessarily.
You know, door won't stop around.
He said that too. He's like, it's, you know, it's something
Yeah.
versus not having nothing.
It
and being
gives you,
fully
it
visible.
gives you some concealment, but it
Concealment.
won't stop around.
Probably not, depending on what
Change
caliber.
trajectory.
Exactly. There's no thought. It's something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's better than
Yeah, a girlfriend of mine is a Cook County assistant state prosecutor, and she was telling me, she's like, I hate going to the gas station.
Well,
She
if you
sees so
think
many
about it,
cases,
It's,
murder
it's
cases.
a
that are
killing
at
field.
gas
It really
stations.
is.
Yeah.
Because first of all, you're absorbed in something else.
Right,
You're in
you're
close
busy.
proximity to a bunch of
You're
people.
watching to see how many dollars. Are
Yeah,
going in or
exactly.
How many gallons? Yeah, I'm gonna stop at $25 or, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, you look at that poor cop. What state was that in?
Texas.
In Texas? Yeah, Texas.
Yeah. it's
Then this guy
horrible.
walked up behind him, shot him back in the head.
Yeah.
He never even knew it. He never even knew it was him.
Yeah.
I mean, and that literally is that's the problem with the theater too. So many, not all, but so many theaters, the entrance is behind you. So they could hose down the last 3 rows before
Or you
anyone would know
have to
what's
go,
going
yeah,
on.
down and then over.
Yeah,
Well,
then
I
back down.
like the top.
yeah, where they
I-
they come in below.
The last time I was in a regular movie theater, we actually had our backs to the top wall, and that was perfect.
Yeah.
That was perfect, and
That's right.
but like we like to go to the one where they serve food, and the door is behind
It's
us.
behind us, yeah, right.
Yeah, so that's inconvenient. But yeah, the last time I went with Yen the last time. Yen doesn't carry, so I'm like, okay, I'm responsible for both of us rather than just rather than his partner. And so I'm like, okay, we're gonna go all the way to the side and like closer to the front, so that if somebody comes in, I'm less likely to be shot before I have time to shoot.
Well, and I mean, see, that's a very valid point, because when you're in a situation where you have no choice, that the egress is going to be to your back,
Yeah.
then you want to be as far away as you can.
Yeah.
I hate to be morbid, but you want to hear them shooting somebody else,
I
so
do
you
that at my
have time
church
to
too.
react.
I do that at my church. The entrance of our sanctuary is in the very back of the room. It's in the middle of the back.
That's for the majority of churches.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would say that's a very common arrangement, so that if people come in late, you're not disturbing the whole
Right,
service.
right.
You're coming to the back rather than the side or the front. And so I sit in one of the back rows, but as far to one side, either the left or the right, as possible, so that if they come in shooting up the middle, I can get them from the side, and hopefully I'm not disabled before I'm able to take them out.
It's basically the space, distance, and visibility.
Angles,
You know, you want to have the space to be able to get out halfway. You know, the distance from wherever the threat could be coming from, and really see all the entrances.
Yeah, I think it's all about having a plan. I know
Right.
that my husband read a book about raising children, and he was talking about parking lot rules. Like, this one dad would say parking lot rules. The kids knew they had to walk up to dad and hold his hand, or do whatever they do. So, you have that code word or that safe word, and you say it, and the kids have to get on and listen to you.
We sort
They
of
know
have
what to
that.
do.
Our code word is, oh crap, he's got a gun.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say showtime.
Yeah, there you go. Well, it's also something else too, than using a different word instead of gun. People react to that.
Yeah.
Adversely. So
Right.
if you use something like,
But
oh,
I
that's
do
my
like
rule.
gun. It's easy to say. Gun.
Yeah.
True.
I think, boil it all down. I think the real trick here, not maybe a trick, but I think the real consideration, it all goes back to situational awareness. You just need to put yourself in a position where you can maintain awareness of what's going on around you.
Yeah.
And you know what? You're not wearing an aluminum foil hat at night, okay? Once you do it for a while, it's second nature. You like this table? No, actually, I like that one over there.
Yeah.
That's all. It's not like it's a big deal.
And if you're in a situation where you feel uncomfortable, like you said, avoidance is key. Just leave. Like, you don't have to stay there just because you have a gun, or what's the point of that? No,
It's funny
you need to
how-
leave.
A lot of anti-gunners think that people that carry guns are wanting to be like aggressive in some way. And most everyone who's carrying a gun does not want to get
Like
into
the
a situation. and
opposite.
avoid it. It's just a
Avoid
last
it at all
resort.
costs.
As we always say, pulling the trigger doesn't end the problem. That's where the
Starts.
problem really
Yeah.
starts.
Mhm.
Yeah, it really does.
Well, and that's the other thing. I say we prepare for all sorts of things that we don't think are actually going to happen.
Yeah.
We have full collision coverage on our cars. We don't actually think we're
Fire
gonna get in
insurance?
accidents. We have fire insurance, flood insurance.
I have concealed carry insurance.
So do I. So do
Yeah.
I. But yeah, we prepare for lots of things that we don't think are actually going to, your kids have fire drills and emergency drills at school and things like that. We don't actually think those things are going to happen. We hope that they never do. And it's the same thing with carrying a gun.
Yeah.
I expect I'll never, ever, ever have to use that gun.
It's not likely that you will. Statistically, it's just not
Bought a
likely.
ladder for the second floor for my son in case there would ever be a fire. We're on.
Is it one of those
Right,
throw-out
yeah.
ladders?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the safety first ladders. You open
Yeah.
the window, it's
Yep.
tied in, you just throw it over in case you ever have, you better not sneak out. I have
How old
got. He's turning 13 next
Won't be long.
month,
He'll be- yeah, he'll
and he
sneak
is
out.
already,
Give a little.
he's almost 5'7". He almost weighs as much as I do. He's gonna be a big kid. But we've got security sensors at every window, even on the second floor. We've got security sensors on every window, basement, first and second floor. So we've kind of got everything.
That'll slow
covered.
him down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, intruders as well, but
Right.
for Riley, we do, in case of a fire, we do have that for upstairs for him. So.
Any
again, like you
parting
said,
thoughts?
Preparing, like you said, we're preparing.
Any last pithy thoughts?
No.
Congratulations on 3 years.
Thank
That's
you.
pretty
We got
awesome.
cake.
That's
Yeah. It's hard to believe it's been 3 years.
Something
we
to
got-
help you go to
We got a
sleep
bottle of
really
booze
easily.
here. Yeah. Let's do another hour of drinking. Yeah. New show, the drinking show.
Woo! Oh, that would be funny.
No, I
That
did
would be
say,
super funny because
no.
I'm the drinker.
and I said, Gretchen, what does he drink? And she said, well, he doesn't really drink. And I said, I think he should.
She can
30
drink me
minutes
under
before
the
every
table.
You should have
show.
brought him
She
like
can
a
drink
light
me
beer or
under the
something.
Yes.
Yeah,
Get
it's just,
started.
it's true. I'm a lightweight. I always have been. I've never been a drinker.
Shots.
But thank you for having me on the show several times.
No,
I really appreciate it.
You did.
I was not planning to be here today, but just when Gretchen said 3 years today, I'm like, I'm coming.
Yeah, you're a frequent guest, and Russ is a frequent guest, so I'm just trying to.
And he's in there right now, right?
Yeah,
He's in
yeah.
there right
he's
now.
doing a
He's got
sports
a show
show,
after
so
hours.
yeah.
That's awesome.
So I think that's it
Yeah.
for this week. Thank you for watching. We'll be back next week with more segment 6 on some pithy topic.
Yay, cupcakes.
Yay, cupcake.
Yeah.
I was